UITM. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we discuss on tutorial short-term financing chapter 8. Alright class, before we want to cover our tutorial, I really hope that you have covered my previous session on the lecture on short-term financing. Alright, so we start our tutorial session with kitab Al-Fatihah. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. Alright class, we proceed to our tutorial discussion on chapter 8, short-term financing. Past semester question, October 2010. Alright class, based on the question, alright, as I told you in my previous lecture, alright, on this topic, on this chapter 8, short-term financing, you must memorize all the formula in this chapter. Then it's easy for you to answer all these questions. So I provide you around 6 formula. Alright. So first is a simple interest, discount interest, simple interest rate and compositing balance, discount and compositing balance, revolving credit and commercial paper. Which formula that you need to use is based on your information, based on the question given. Alright, so from the question you need to identify, is it simple interest, is it commercial paper, or revolving credit, probably discount and compositing balance, or simple interest rate and compositing balance. So from the question you need to extract the information, then you can know which formula that you need to calculate. Alright, those on your right side is all the formula to calculate EIR, effective interest rate. Alright, so alright, now you can see on the left side the past semester question, October 2010. Yoyo Sendirian Berhad require 300,000, correct? Alright class, step 1, my advice is you should extract the information. Step 1 is extract your information. So from your information you can know which formula that you need to use. Alright, total October 2010, Yoyo Sendirian Berhad require 300,000 to finance its operation. Alright, to finance its operation for 5 months. Alright, as I told you class, this is short-term financing. Short-term financing is on it is matured in 1 year. Alright class, Yoyo Sendirian require 300,000 to finance operation for 5 months, less than 12 months, right? Alright, so this is your amount that you need to borrow. Why class? Because you required 300,000. So okay, for 5 months. So this is your period. Alright, then you need to extract the information first. So it is 5 months. Alright, so next, currently the company has 5,000 in the current account. So currently you have RM 5,000 in account. Alright class, you need to extract all information that is given by the question. Next, calculate the effective rate of cost of loan. As I told you class, short-term financing you need to calculate effective interest rate, EIR. Alright, so a loan from HB Bank with a simple interest rate of 7.5%. Alright, so it is simple interest rate equals to 7.5%. Alright, next information class. So this is your simple interest rate, 7.5%, and 10% compositing balance. Alright class, alright, you extract the information. Compositing balance we call as CB, equals to 10%. Alright, As I told you class, Yoyo Sendirian Berhad require 300,000. So that is your amount borrowed. Amount borrowed is RM 300,000. Alright class. Compensating balance is your 10%. So the formula for compensating balance is 10% times percent, CB percentage, you time with your amount borrowed. So, based on your information, as you can see, so 10% times with your amount borrowed. From where you get your amount borrowed class? As you can see in the same step, alright, in your step 1, this is your amount borrowed. So times with 300,000. So 10% times 300,000. So your CB is 30,000. Alright class, so 10% times 100,000 is 30,000. So that is your amount CB. As I told you, what is compensating balance class? Compensating balance means that the bank will require to compensate, alright, compensate the minimum amount in your account before the bank will release the loan. Okay, for instance, if you want to borrow around 300,000, means that you need to reserve, you need to compensate 30,000 in your account. Alright, but as you can see now class, currently you have 5,000 in your account. So you need another 25,000. Alright, 30,000. So actually your amount of your CB 330,000 minus with 5,000. So equals to 25,000. Class, why you need to deduct with your 5,000? This is because currently, as you can see in the question, company has 5,000 in your current account. So you have 5,000. So you need another 25,000 as your CB. Alright. Class, now you got your amount borrow, you got your N, you got your simple interest rate 7.5% and your CB. Class, don't forget, you need another information, it is your interest. Alright, the formula of interest is percentage time with your amount borrow time with your N stroke 365. Why 365 class? Because 1 year you have 365 days. So as you can see now class, this is your simple interest rate. Alright, based in your same step. Alright, as you can see your simple interest rate, it is 7.5%. 7.5% times with your amount borrow. Alright, class, based on your step 1, this is your amount borrow 300,000 times with. Alright, so what is your period class? It is 5 months. Alright, class, remember, in the situation of, if the question gives you in months, so you can use N or N stroke 12 because the question gives you in months. If the question gives you in days, so you can use N stroke 365. So it is 5 months, 5/12. So the answer for your interest is 9375. 7.5% times 300,000 times 5/12, you will get 9375. Alright, class. Remember, first you need to know your amount borrow. What type of information that you need? First, you need to know your amount borrow. Second, you need to know your N. And thirdly, actually, you need to know your CB. Lastly, you need to know your interest. Alright, class. Based on all this information, amount borrow and your CB and your interest. Your interest is based on simple interest rate. So, identify the term amount borrow, CB and interest. So, which formula, if you can see in your right side, which formula have interest, simple interest rate and compensating balance? Alright, as you can see now, class, this is the formula. Alright, you got interest, you got compensating balance. Alright, based on this formula, interest divided by principal minus compensating balance. Principal also known as your amount borrow. Alright, class. So this is your principal. Okay, class. Now you have identified your formula. EIR equals to interest divided by principal minus your CB. Okay, so interest divide by principal minus CB. Then don't forget to, based on the formula, you need to time with your. Alright, it's the same class. Remember, based on question. Alright, don't forget to time with your N divide by 12. Alright, based on your information, you use month, so you can use 12 over N. Class, don't do careless mistake. If you can see, if you want to calculate your interest, you will use N over 12. If you want to calculate your effective interest rate, you will have to make sure 12 divide with your month. Alright, class, based on the formula, you can use 365 over N or 12 over N based on your step 1 information. So first, when you extract your information, is it easy for you to calculate your EIR? Yes. Now, interest, you can see information number 4. So the answer is 9375 divided by, okay, now principal minus CB. Okay, your principal also known as amount borrow. Alright, you only substitute the information in the formula. That's why I tell class it's very important for you to extract the information. Then you will put it in the formula. So minus with your CB, compensating balance. Alright, class, compensating balance I told you. Yes, the question tell that you need 10% times your amount borrow, means that your CB is 30,000. However, currently in your company have 5,000. So actually your real CB that bank will take is around 25,000. So don't forget to time with 12 over 5. You see class? It's easy when you extract all the information, then you can identify which formula that you can use. Alright. So the answer 0.0818. Okay, you can do in percentage 8.18%. So that is the answer for A, October 2000 A. Alright, class. So don't forget class, I repeat, step 1, you need to extract all your information. Alright, remember, interest cannot be in percentage, CB cannot be in percentage. You need to find your RM. Alright, okay, so step 2, you can calculate EIR based on step 1. What is your step 1 class? Information. Alright, now we try to do question 2. Alright, Nuyu Senior Berhad need 400,000 to finance this new project. So class, based on the information, Nuyu need fund 400,000. So that is the amount of your principal, also known as your amount borrow. Class, the company issue commercial paper. You can see now class, what is the term now? Commercial paper. Alright, if you based on the I want to repeat back class. In your question A just now, first term is your simple interest rate, correct? Second is your CB. So actually, before you extract information, you can identify which formula that you need to use. Alright, now simple interest rate and your CB. So based on the formula, which formula is considered as simple interest and CB? Yes, class. You can see the black arrow, correct? So this is the formula. How about question B, October 2010? Issue commercial paper. So this is the term for the question. So which formula that need to use? So alright class, as you can see now, this is your formula, because this formula is for commercial paper. So you need your interest, you need your face value, you need your issuing cost. Alright class, principal, amount borrow and face value is the same term. Alright, also known as face value and principal. Alright, so don't forget to times your TEF over N. So now you have identified the formula. When you identify the formula, you have to make sure before you calculate your EIR, before you want to substitute the information in the formula, extract information. So you need to know your interest, you need to know your face value, and you need to know your issuing cost. So question 2. Okay, class. Step 1. Yes, correct. Extract information. Alright. First is your principal, also known as amount borrow, equals to 400,000. Alright. Next, company issue commercial paper with a face value of 5,000. Alright. Means that class, face value per commercial paper equal to RM 5,000. Alright class, you need to know. So it means that how many paper that you need to issue class? Alright, 400,000 divided by 5,000. So class, try to calculate 4,000 divided by 5,000. 400,000, sorry. 400,000 divided by 5,000. So equals to 80 papers. Alright class, why you need to calculate how many papers? Because certain questions sometimes will give you the issuing cost for per paper. So when you know your how many paper that you need to issue, can you identify your issuing cost? Yes. I give an example. If the question give, alright, issuing cost for per paper is 10 ringgit. So you need to calculate how many paper of this company need to issue. So in this question, the amount that you need to borrow is 400,000, but face value for per commercial paper only 5,000, means that you need to issue up to 80 papers, means that your total issuing cost is 80 times 10. However, in this question, as you can see, alright, we try to continue. Alright, you see, total issuing cost is 1,500. Alright, class, means that you no need to calculate your issuing cost. Why? Because the question have give you the total issuing cost. But for other questions, sometimes they will not give you total issuing cost. You need to calculate the total issuing cost. So your total issuing cost equals to 1,500. Alright, class. Next, as I told you, class, as you can see, what is your formula now? You need to use commercial paper. So next, this is your interest. Alright, interest rate equals to 8.5%. Class, my advice, when you have extract the information on the interest rate, automatically my advice, better you calculate the interest amount in RM. You cannot substitute interest rate in percentage in the formula. So my advice, when you extract interest rate 8.5%, automatically you need to calculate the amount of your interest. So what is the formula? Using the same formula. Remember, class, to calculate amount of interest, actually the formula here is, alright, amount, alright, interest equals to percentage, your interest rate, in percentage, time with, yes, principal. Can I know what is in principal, class? Your amount borrow or consider as your fund needed, time with your N/12. Or you can use, yes, correct, N divide by 365. If the question gives you like 1 year is 360, so you need to divide by 360. So remember, this interest amount formula can use for the whole formula. As you can see in simple interest, interest divided by principal. How to find out amount interest? You can use this formula. How about discount interest? Interest divided by principal minus interest. Remember, all this amount must be in RM. So interest, so this, you can use the same formula. Same goes for the question B. As you can see in the formula of commercial paper, you see interest, right, class? Interest, as you can see, interest, so using the same formula. So interest, alright, now we calculate amount of interest. So what is the amount of interest rate? This is your amount of your interest rate. So 8.5%. Alright, remember, class, it is 0.085 times with your amount borrow 400,000 times with, alright, class, now you need to know how many days or months. You see, class, with 210 days maturity period. Is it in days or month, class? N equals to 210 days. So you can use the formula N divided by 365. So the days is 210 divided by 365. So what is the answer, class? Alright, 0.085 times with 400,000 time with 210 days divide by 365. 1 year you have 365. If the question give you 1 year 360, then you can use 360. But alright class, you cannot use 365. Why? As you can see now class, 360 days per year. Alright, so you have to use 360 because the question have give you 360 per year. So 8.5% times 400,000 times 210 divided by 360. So your interest is 19. Alright, your interest, your class, 19833.33. So this is your amount of your interest. Done. Next class. As you can see in the formula, interest, face value, issuing cost, and your end. So do you see that you have enough information to substitute? Yes. First, you have your principal, or we consider as your full face value. 1. Settle. Done, class. Next is your total issuing cost. Next class, yes, your amount of your interest. Alright class, why we do not use 8.5? Yes, in the formula we only use RM to substitute in your steps 2. So step 2, you have to make sure all your information is enough. And remember class, you need to extract the information correctly. So by extract information, easy for you to substitute the information in your formula. So formula for EIR for this question is you can use commercial paper formula. EIR equals to interest divide by, alright, based on the formula I have shared you, face value minus interest minus issuing cost. Class, please remember your formula. So also known as your principal minus with your interest minus with issuing cost. Alright class, don't forget to times with, alright, start with N or 360 class. Yes, your 360 divide by N. Class, remember, why you have to use 360? Because question have mentioned to you that 360 divide by 1 year have 360 per year. So now you can substitute the information in your step 1. Alright. Alright. Now interest. Okay. 1, 2, 3. As you can see class, this is your amount of your interest. So your interest is 19833.33 divide by, what is your face value class? 400,000 minus your interest, using the same amount of interest as you have calculated in information 3. Alright, information 3. Alright, minus 0.33 minus with your issuing cost. As you can see that class, question has calculated for you the total issuing cost. It is 1,500. 100. So don't forget to times with. Alright, what is your end, class? Yes, this is your end. 210 days. So 360 divide by 210. Alright, class. As you can see in your interest, 210 divided by 360. However, when you calculate EIR, 360 above and your 210 will be below. So don't do careless mistake. Alright. So this is your. So what is the answer, class? Try to calculate what is the answer for EIR. Alright. So first you need to minus 400,000 minus with 19833. That is your amount of your interest minus your issuing cost. That question have given you 1,500. So then you don't forget to divide by 19833. 19833.33 divide by 400,000. I advise you to calculate EIR. Okay, use a formula. 19833 divided by 400,000 minus 19833, using the same amount of your interest just now, minus 1,500. So you get your answer times with. Alright, class, you have to make sure use 360 because question have give you 360 days. Divide by 210. So you will get 0.08979. My advice, put it as percentage. So this is your amount of your EIR. Alright, so that is the second question for Nuyu Sendirian Berhad. Alright, last question for today's tutorial. Alright, as you can see, first my advice, better you extract information and identify your formula. Okay, now question C. Last question for today's tutorial. Okay, first step, you need to extract information and identify formula. Alright, don't forget, same goes for your question B and A. Actually, step 1 you need to and identify your formula. Which formula that you need to use? Alright, same goes for your first question, class. Don't forget to and identify your formula. Alright, why you need to identify formula, class? Because when you identify your formula, it is easy for you to know what type of information that you need to extract. So, first, JESCO has a revolving credit agreement, correct? So that is your information. Then when you have seen, if the question have given you revolving credit, based on the formula, alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 formula. Which formula is revolving credit? Yes, class. As you can see here now, this is the formula for revolving credit. Alright, so what is the next step, class? You need to extract your information. So first information that you need is your amount borrow. Alright, class, based on the question, actually revolving credit agreement will provide you fund more than the amount that you want, the fund that you needed. Alright, So, this guy has revolving credit with Aqua Bank under it can borrow up to 20 million. However, the company must maintain 10% compensating balance. So, this is your CB on outstanding loan. Interest on fund is 15%. So, this is your interest rate. Commitment fee is 155% on unused portion. Class, what do you mean of unused portion? Yes, this is the word that you need to know. Alright, class. Based on the question 5, find EIR if the amount borrowed is 4 million. Means that, class, actually your amount borrowed is RM 4 million. Alright, class. Means that this is your amount borrow, or we can call it as amount used. Alright. Just now, revolving credit with Aqua Bank means Aqua can borrow you up to 20 million, but you only want to use 4 million. So what is your amount unused? Alright, amount unused is your, alright, the maximum amount borrow minus with amount used, or we can consider it as amount borrow. So what is the amount of maximum amount that Aqua Bank can provide you? Yes, it is borrow up to 20 million. So this is the amount that been offered by the bank. You can minus with your you only want to use 4 million. So what is your amount unused, class? Yes, it is equals to 16 million. So this is your amount unused. Unused amount. Okay, class. Next. Yes, this is your interest rate. It equals to 15%. Class. After this, I told you when question I give you the amount of interest rate can be in percentage or RM. Yes, RM. So you need to calculate your amount of interest. Alright. Interest amount. What is your interest amount, class? Equals to using the same formula. Alright, use the same formula. Alright, as this, you can use the same because interest formula is the same for all EIR. So this is the formula. So can I know equals to, what is the interest rate, class? It is 15%. 0.15 times with your, alright, class. In this case, principal is your amount borrow, correct? So as you have stated in the information, amount borrow is only 4 million. So 0.15 times 4 million, we will time with your N over 365. Alright, class, based on the question, Jesco Berhad, the company, 10% compensating balance, interest 15%, commitment fee is unused 1.5%. Do you see any time period that question give you? Alright, if the question did not give you any period of your short-term financing, we assume that your N is, you need to assume your N is only 12 months. Don't forget, it is short-term financing. So your maximum period for short-term financing is only 12 months. If the question did not give you any time period, you assume it is 12 months. So 12 over 12. So what is the formula? What can you calculate for me, class? Alright, 0.15 times with 4 million. 4 million is your amount used, also known as your amount borrowed, and time with 12 divided by 12. So the answer is your interest amount is 600,000. Alright, next class. You need to calculate your commitment fee. Alright, why? Okay, remember, if the question is about involved of revolving credit agreement, alright, revolving credit agreement. Okay, don't forget, based on the formula revolving credit agreement. Alright, so revolving credit, correct? So this is a revolving credit. You have to make sure you need to calculate your interest, you need to calculate your commitment fee, and you need to calculate your CB. So make sure all this type of information enough in your step 1. So okay, now you have your amount borrow, correct? This is your amount borrow, and you have your amount of your interest. Next, you need to calculate your amount of your commitment fee. What is the formula for commitment fee, class? It is, okay, the formula for your commitment fee alright, the formula for your commitment fee is equals to your percentage of your commitment fee. Class, commitment fee always 1.5% time with your amount unused. Okay, amount unused. So you can use the formula to calculate your commitment fee. So 1.5%. So actually it is 0.015 times with your amount unused. As you can see in your information, right, class, this is your amount unused. So what is the amount unused? 16,000. That's why, class, it's very important for you to extract all the information. So remember, when involved of revolving credit agreement, you must calculate all this information: amount used, amount unused, your N, your amount of interest, and your commitment fee. So times with your 60 million. So from where I get your 60 million? It is from your unused amount. So 1.5%, don't forget, class, it's not 0.15, it is 0.015 times with 16 million. 240,000. So that is your commitment fee. Last, class, your next information that you need to calculate is very important. Why? Because based on the formula, your CB formula, alright, you need to have your CB amount. As you can see now, class, your CB. So you have your interest, you have your commitment fee, your interest, your commitment fee, and your amount borrow. Now you need to calculate your CB. Alright, class, based on the question, do you see any information that mention you currently the company have any amount in the account? No. As you can see in your chapter, in your A, the company has 5,000 in the current account. So means that the company have 5,000. So the balance is your CB. But now in this question, do you see any current amount in your account for this Jesco account? No. So we assume 0. So you need to calculate your CB. Don't forget, class, what is the formula of your CB? As I told you, you can use the same formula to calculate CB, percentage of your CB, time with your amount borrow. Okay, so as you can see in your step 1 just now, how I calculate your CB? Yes, percent time amount borrow. So you can use the same formula. Means that, class, remember, all these 3 formula you can use can apply in the EIR. Alright, class, so when your amount of your CB based on the question, 10% compensating balance. So 10% is 0.1. Remember, 0.1 time with your amount borrow. So what is the formula for amount borrow, class? 10% is 0.1 time with, what is your amount borrow? As I told you, class, you don't need to see the question because you extract all the information. So it's very important for you to extract the information and identify the formula. When you had identified the formula, you can know which item that you need to complete. So amount borrow, interest, commitment fee, last is your CB, compensating balance. 0.1 time with your amount borrow 4 million. So what is the answer, class? So 0.1 time with your 4 million, 400,000. Alright, now class, you have seen through your, okay, if you can see in your right side, 1 amount borrow, interest, commitment fee, and your CB. Now you can do your step 2 because you have make sure all the information is enough. Then you can substitute all the information in your step 2 formula. Alright, calculate EIR. So what is the formula for EIR or for revolving credit agreement? Alright, so interest plus with your commitment fee divide by, alright, based on the formula again. Alright, okay, uses this formula, amount borrow minus your CB. Amount borrow minus your CB. Minus CB. Don't forget, class, you don't forget to times with your 12 divided by N. Don't, many students like to careless because as you can see now, interest we have to make sure N divided by 12. I repeat, for EIR 12 divided by N. Alright, so now you try to substitute the information into the formula. So what is the amount of your interest, class? Yes, based on information 2, 600,000 plus commitment fee. You have calculate, correct? So that's why when you have your enough information, it's easy for you to sub in the formula. Okay. Next, class, divide by your amount borrow. You can see from your same step 1, 4 million. So you put 4 million. Alright, 4 million minus with your CB 400,000. So class, 400,000, alright. So then you need to time with your 12 divide. Alright, as I told you, when the question did not give you any time period, we assume it is 12 months. So what is your EIR answer? So can we try to calculate? Alright, how to calculate, class? Alright, if you use the formula calculation, you use your calculator to calculate. Alright, first 600,000 alright, 600,000 you need to plus with your 240,000. Alright, so 600,000 plus with 240,000 divide by 4 million. Alright, class, from where I get the 4 million? Yes, based on your information. Amount used, amount borrow 4 million. Alright, so then you divide 4 million minus with your CB that you get from your information number 4. So the answer here is 0.2 0.2333, means that we call it as 23.333 Alright, so class, the important now here, alright, you need to know what is the formula. From there you can know what type of information needed, and then you can apply in your step 2. So next is your tutorial October 2007. So this is the question. I want you all to give a try before I continue in my next session, in next class. So I will discuss the answer in my next session tutorial. So give a try. I give you three questions, then you need to choose what is the best option. Remember, you need the best option is you need to choose the lowest EIR, means that the lowest cost of your short-term financing. So you need to identify first, this question, is it commercial paper, is it revolving credit, is it discount interest rate? Because when you first, I give example, this question is commercial paper, so you apply the formula of your commercial paper. Alright, give a try in your tutorial. Alright, before I end, I want to recall class, first, you need to know, you need to memorize all the formula, and then when you see in the question, you need to identify the formula, then you can know which information that you need. First step, extract all the information. Second, you can calculate your EIR based on the information. So that's all for today. Try to do the question. So this is a question. So October 2007. Alright, I will discuss the answer in the next tutorial session. Alright, good luck and thank you. Assalamualaikum.